She said she ain't
Okay,
editing
no,
nothing, no
we're not
filters,
editing.
no
So,
nothing. Lord, just
yes.
right off the dome.
So here we go. Welcome to Our Generation with Melissa Shaw, where we educate, empower, and inspire.
You didn't even warn me.
That's the beauty of it.
All right.
And I have my great friend B here.
Yes,
In my
hello.
wonderful new spot that I'm here, that I'm so excited to do it. And we
Beautiful.
actually met here at a networking event.
That's right. It's your networking
Yes,
event.
yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for, allowing, you're a busy woman. And so for you to be able to take time, I really, really appreciate that.
Of course, I'm here for it, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about you, your name, where you grew up, and
where I grew up.
yeah,
Okay.
just a little background.
Yeah, so I'm Be'Le Oshun. That is my spiritual name. Oshun is the goddess of love. So that's what I represent. That's what I lead with. It's a part of my ministry. Um, and I am so many things. I am what you call an energy healer. I work with energy, and I own a spa that's in the Nora area. It's a spa healing lounge. It's called Pamper Me Right. And I also, I'm an event host. So I host any type of event, but I also have an open mic that I do every first Wednesday called Oshun's Open Mic. So I got my hands in this and that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what did you do? Have you always been in like the spiritual healing world?
No, I've always been a spiritual individual, but it wasn't necessarily my arena. Life just kind of moved me into my purpose. But I was actually a property manager for 17 years in Indy. And, that was a full time position that took all of my energy. And years ago in 2014, with me hosting events, I hosted a pamper party. I came up with this idea for a group of ladies. I wanted them to feel like a queen, or wanted the group to feel like queens for the night. So I was like, how about we, pamper the ladies with massages, like have some attractive men come in and pamper them, their hands and their feet and all that good stuff. And I Googled it and I couldn't find it anywhere in the city.
Wow.
And so crazy stuff was coming up.
I can only imagine.
Just all kind of crazy stuff.
If you put nice looking men, then
yeah, it was. I mean, it just wasn't a thing here. And so I was determined, and I said, you know what, I'm going to create it. And I was able to recruit 7 attractive men to come out and pamper the ladies for the night with hand massages. I had a line of things. I had Mexican food catered. I had a live band.
Wow.
I had a dancer. I had all kinds of stuff, right? But it was that in particular service when the ladies didn't know that the guys were coming. So when they came out, they had the buckets of water, and the lights were dim and the candles were lit. And it was a moment. The ladies didn't want the guys to leave. The guys didn't want the ladies to get up. And it was a gratifying moment for me because I was able to have them escape from whatever it was that they were going through in that moment. So from there, I said, you know what, I'm going to create a business out of it. So I hustled with it for years, and then property management wasn't going the way that I wanted it to go. And I was trying to relocate out of Indy because I felt like no one was supporting. And I realized that I was trying to do it my way because it wasn't falling into place for me. And I had said a prayer before I tried to relocate, and I said, God, if it's meant for me to leave in this moment, then open up the doors that no man can close, and close the doors that no man can open if it's not meant for me. And so I just went on. I forgot about the prayer, went on, tried to find a job, and I've never had a hard time finding a job, especially with my experience and background. Girl, them doors was not opening. Do you hear me? And I was like, what in the world? It took me months to realize that the doors weren't opening. And God, that small little whisper said, you remember that prayer that you prayed? And so when the light bulb came on, I was like, okay, I see what we're doing. And in that moment, I surrendered. I surrendered and I said, okay, God, I'm going to do it your way. Go ahead and give me that purpose because I really don't even want to do this life thing without having purpose.
Absolutely.
So lead me into that. And from there, Pamper Me Right just kind of bloomed. Like opportunities came that I wasn't even necessarily looking for. They like Pamper Me Right. I didn't find Pamper Me Right. I created it, but it really found me. So I started operating in that. Never wanted to be a healer. I didn't even know at the time what that really consists of. I never wanted to touch people or massage people or any of that. I don't even like touching people, really. I'm not a touchy-feely type of person.
Wow.
So it's a calling.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And so,
sorry, I'll be getting nervous that I didn't turn the mic on. I didn't turn my mic on, but it's okay. You've been the one talking the most.
Is it good? Is my mic on?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one, you know what? That one, bottom one's not.
Okay, and I'm a soft talker, so
yeah, you're good. As long as I get the top one. Yeah,
okay.
That one's going. Yep.
And it's organic.
I know
we are organic.
You
so
have
they just going. You know what I mean?
I tell people, and this is as organic and raw as you could possibly get. Because I'm like, hold on, is my thing okay? Yeah,
yes, we all good, but we gonna stop and make sure we good.
But
right?
I wanted to show people this because everyone always sees the polished and the perfect look, but it's not always like that.
They need to know that it's real.
I want people to see the journey, so they see the things that I've dealt with, and so once I get better at it and get a little bit more polished, and they can see that transition,
the growth. Yes, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, sorry. So go ahead. Back to you.
Okay. Look, I feel like I'm talking your head off.
No, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what my show is for. It's to spotlight business owners and entrepreneurs that following their passion. People. Are there somebody out there that could be saying, "Hey, should I do this? What should I do? I'm not happy with my life," So when they hear stories like yours, then they can relate and be like, okay, she can do it, I can do it.
Yes. So it's so funny, Melissa, that when people ask me like, how did I start doing, or how did I get into what I'm doing? So I started the Pamper. I said, hey, I'm gonna create a business out of this, right? So I was never looking for a space. I never had a brick and mortar or any of that. But again, that kind of just fell into my lap. It found me. And so I got the space, right? I said, okay, this is the stuff that people really need to hear. So I was contracting massage therapists for services before we got the space. And I talked to all my massage therapists and I said, how do you feel about me getting a space? Would y'all be on board? Like, we could do this. We could blow this up, right? Everybody was like, yeah, girl, I'm down. Well, I got the space, right? And when I got the space, what nobody about the
I was just about to say, it probably just
oh my goodness,
sung a different tune.
Yeah, but nobody showed up like they said they were going to show up, right? And so,
and you know why? I hope it's okay if I interject.
No,
it's because this was your journey, not theirs.
Is that why? Okay, I received that, but it groomed me because I had to learn how to build from nothing, right? Turn nothing into something.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a therapist. I wasn't massaging. I wasn't touching people. I wasn't any of that. And like they would still work, but no one came aboard on board like I'm gonna rent this room out or so I had overhead costs that I didn't plan for, but that's the key word. I didn't plan for it. Like I was never really looking for the space. And I'm a shoot now, think later type of person, right? So now with me years later, I know how important, ladies and gentlemen, it is to come up with a plan and be strategic about it. It doesn't have to look perfect, but you got to have that plan, your reason why, your plan, get your contracts in place, you know what I mean, and really hold people accountable before you just take off. If that's the business that you're in, if you're servicing people and you know what I mean, have contractors or employees, you want to make sure that you at least got it in order.
Absolutely. And and we see that everybody has been in that situation. We come up with a business and we just go 100% because we want to make money and we want to do this. But then it's like, okay, now I got to circle back. And so that's kind of why I created
clean up what I messed up.
That part. And that's why, I have the nonprofit now. It's because in talking with a lot of people, I see there's a very common thread.
Yeah.
Especially with younger people.
Yes.
And so it's like, if we can give them skills and things that can help navigate and mitigate some of the struggles they could have in the beginning, how much more sustainable, because it's all about having a sustainable business.
Yes, and utilizing your resources. I didn't really have the resources that I have now. I didn't know how to necessarily find the resources. And people would think that because I've been in business for so long, like property management and operations and having a team up under me, that I could just take off, right? You would think, but it was business in a different way.
Absolutely.
I was in business for myself, so I had to hold myself accountable. And back in 2014, there was no like blueprint. You remember I told you no one was doing pamper parties here. They may have been doing like little spa parties, but no one was doing what I was doing because I had created it.
Right.
And the city wasn't even ready for it. And they're still not completely ready for it because we're conservative here. I'm originally from around the way, from California and Michigan, so I have like that big city type of heart, passion, that ambition. So Indy, a lot of their, what we can do and what we can't do legally is really, really hazy. So that'll make a person want to step back,
Absolutely.
because they don't know if they can or how to or whatnot. So you really have to get out here and network and utilize the resources. And we're more techie now, so now you can Google stuff and find stuff a little bit more. So anywho.
And then I'm just going to put a plug in there. And that's why, it's important to have legal services.
Yes.
Like the lawyer services,
like Legal Shield. Yes.
Just because of those questions. You can call and ask and say, hey, this is what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to expand and add these components. The state of Indiana, can I do that here? Exactly. Instead of going ahead and moving with it, and then you find out, oh shit, I can't do this. Do that, and now I spent money, and I need these licensing and this permit.
For sure.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. So this is good stuff. I hope y'all are listening, okay?
Yes.
So I get in the space, right? And this is right before, this was in the end of 2018, right? When did COVID happen?
19
to
20, I think.
20, So I was in the space and I renovated the space, right? So I was still working at the time. Renovated the space, used my hard-earned dollars. I didn't have any loans or anything like that, right? And I'm a single mother too, right? So did everything that I needed to do to open. I was open for a little bit, and then boom, COVID hit.
Wow.
So girl, it was a mess. So we had to shut down. And the city shut down, the world shut down, and rent was still due.
Exactly.
So, I mean, they worked with us a little bit, after a while when they realized, oh, we ain't opening for a while. But luckily, I still had that side hustle. I was still working, and I was able, it was really the grace of God. As to how I was able to continue to pay rent. And then a special someone during COVID came along, right? Love came along. Love came to visit me.
I love how you say that. Love came to
visit. For a little bit. Just a little while,
just right? Just enough to do what he needed to do and then keep it moving.
Yep. Love came to visit me, and I thought that he was the one, honey. Do you hear me? I thought that he was the one. He just kind of, how they say iron sharpens iron. And he challenged me in ways, and he was like, maybe you should think about like massaging. Maybe you should, why don't you give me a massage or whatnot. And our energy was, now weird things were happening to me before he came into the picture. And what I mean by that, mystical things. Like, so I've always been, and this is, I'm about to go into the energy healer, what that actually means. So I'm also a Reiki practitioner. So I work with energy. I'm able to tap into energy, and I'm very intuitive. So a lot of people will call me psychic. but it's not like I can look at you and read into your future, but I read energy on a psychic level.
Right.
So I smell very heavily. I can feel very heavily, and I do have visions, but it doesn't come to me as like, oh, this is gonna happen in your future. I'll get glimpses, you know, and I can tell you glimpses, and then it's up to you to put it together. So all these things really have been happening to me my entire life, but I wasn't aware. They just called me like an old soul. You have the gift of discernment, things of that nature. And so people, you know, they get freaked out when
they say those terms because it's Bible terms, and they want to make it okay, instead of letting it be okay for what it is.
Right. And you don't really look at your loved ones like, oh, she has psychic abilities, or you know what I mean, that especially not in the Black community, girl, they would say we are wicked, and
oh my God, I mean, no, I get it. Yeah.
And so anywho, I've always been intuitive, but I didn't know that there was like that it was a thing, that it was a calling on my life, that, you know what I mean, I had power in it, that, you know what I mean, it was an anointing in it. I didn't know. At a young age, my mom would tell me, like, how do you feel about this person? Read this person. You know, at a very my entire life, anybody, they meet somebody, they gonna bring them to me and say, "B, read them." So anyway,
I got a couple people for you.
I will read them. I'll smell them. I'll read them. I'll feel them. Girl, I will. They say read you. I can read you, write you, check you, and correct you.
I love that. I love that.
So all of this is gonna tie together.
No, yeah.
So anywho, things were happening, and they were happening like in a drastic way to where I'm like, what is going on? And things are being introduced to me like crystals, and you know what I mean, just healing in a different type of way. But I was like bracing myself. I didn't know what was going on. Got this love that came into my life. Well, it didn't work out, right? And nobody with my intuitive self, okay? My intuitive self, nobody could have told me different, that he wasn't the one, right?
Wow.
But he wasn't the one. He came as a messenger to wake me up, to bring awareness to my ability, to my anointing. So what happened was, I didn't know that I needed to heal. I didn't know that you know what I mean? Like, we all have issues, but I didn't know that it was as deep as it was until he left.
Wow.
And it didn't work out, right? And so I was crushed, okay? Like, crushed. And I'm a very strong individual. So, and because I am a mother, I can't really sit in sorrow for too long, because I got somebody looking at me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'm raising a young queen.
Yes.
And so I don't want her to see me down and out, and you know what I mean, and depressed. And so it's an inside joke, but I can be sad I'm going to be sad for about 48 hours, and then I got to keep it moving.
No, absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So I'll mourn for like 48 hours, and then I got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
But that wasn't healthy. Now we're talking about emotional and mental, you know, health. You know what I mean?
But we're taught that we only have a certain amount of time, and then we got to push through it, because we don't want our kids to see that. But sometimes they need to see that side, because they're going to experience it themselves, and by how we respond to it is how they're going to respond to it. So we brush it under the carpet and keep it moving. That's what they're going to do.
And then, you know, I'd say all the time, deal with your problems, or your problems are going to come back, and they're going to deal with you.
Absolutely. That happened to me within the last year and a half.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You got to deal with your problems. And there's no time limit to what healing looks like. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go through the motions. Like, there's definitely levels to it. You know, you might start off heartbroken and sad, then it turns into like anger, you know what I mean?
No,
and now
absolutely.
you angry, and then, you know, you go back to being sad. Like, you have to allow yourself to be able to feel all of those emotions, so that you can get through it, so that you can press through. So in the heartbreak, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna let myself be sad for 48 hours. And God spoke to my spirit and said, you know what? You're at a crossroads right now, and you can do that. You have the choice. You can go this way or this way. You can keep moving forward. I'm an Aries, so I'm a move forward type of person. You can move forward and not deal with it and sweep it up under the rug, or you can sit in it. Baby, listen.
That sitting in it is...
When I decided to sit, I got goosebumps. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High. When I decided to sit in that pain, girl, that's when my whole life changed. That's when Oshun came to me. That's when my anointings came to me. That's when I start going back, healing relationships, trying to heal my childhood. Like, that's when everything started to unfold. And it has been a journey up until this point. Yeah. So a lot of times people think, well, they don't know how to receive me because my birth name is Brittany. And so everybody knows me as Brittany Lee. That's why they call me Be'Le. And when my life changed, I started to change from the inside, and then it came outward, and so now people they want to deal with me on a Brittany level, and I'm no longer her. My heart is still there, my character is still there, but that's not my life anymore. Right. And so now you have to address me as Be'Le Oshun, because that's who God has called me to be. And so I went to school for massage therapy, and I just been trying to get my life in order and alignment, and it's not easy. No. You know what I mean? Like, the ones what's the saying? Many are called, but few are chosen. Yep. That's a real thing. Absolutely. And when you allow yourself, because you do have a choice. When you are called and you're like, hey, pick me, and you're chosen, right? You have a responsibility. And so it's like, I'm this spiritual being living in this world, having to, find balance. And I didn't go searching for any of this. All I did was surrender when I realized that my way wasn't working. So it has been a journey to know how to work with energy, because it can get heavy for me. I pick up energy very easy. So sometimes I need a break. Sometimes I need a sabbatical. I need that moment. And so I just been working with it and learning how to really, I'm like what you call a serial entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Like, that's my life. I love entrepreneurship. Yeah, me too. I'm a creator, a visionary. I don't like the tedious stuff. I'd rather hire somebody. No, for real. Life has been whipping my butt to get me in order to deal with the tedious stuff, because it's just like those problems. If you don't learn how to operate within your business, if you don't learn how to do those things that you don't like to do, then you're going to have a problem. You know what I mean? You're going to have a problem.
Because how are you going to transfer it over to someone else?
Or, people will use you and abuse you. Yeah. Or you might find yourself into sticky situations, not knowing how to get out of them because you didn't involve yourself the way that you needed to. So I'm here.
You was there times during your transition and on this journey that you questioned, or maybe question is probably not the right word, but you had to pivot and move a different way?
Right now.
Okay.
Right now as we speak, because the economy is changing. Yeah. And I just had this conversation with someone. For whatever reason, massage therapy, healing, all of that has always been like more of a luxury thing for people. So unfortunately, what chose me is an industry that people don't deem as can I say deem? I don't know if that's the right word. Okay. Yeah. Deem as a necessity.
Right. It's not in their budget.
It's not in their budget. They don't necessarily know that they need it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, to break up the monotony, to have that. Everybody needs a moment.
Oh, yeah.
So if something goes wrong in their lives, the first thing that they're going to give up is their luxury. Yeah, you know what I mean? And their seasons. So I'm learning how to deal with my seasons, because like in the fall and the winter time I'm booming. You know, you might not be able to get booked if you don't sign up in time. But for whatever reason, around the end of the spring going into the summer, I start slowing down. So what are you going to do? You know, the climate is going to change. Someone just told me this. The climate is going to change when you are in business. You know what I mean? You're going to be hot one season and then you might be cold the next. And can you adapt and change with the climate? So I've always, thus far, this just recently happened to where I'm not working a side gig. So, and I'm feeling it, you know? So, you know, you have to learn how to, right now I'm in a season where I'm learning, if you have one business, right? I got to look at the camera on this.
No, go ahead.
And this is what somebody told me, so I'm telling everyone that's watching this. You have to learn how to make money multiple ways within your business. It can't just work one way. So like I'm in the service business, right? I'm in service for individuals. And it's not all about the money, but you got to survive.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? You can't do nothing without no money. So I'm learning how to sell product. I'm learning with my open mics. You know, I implement the vendors to take care of my overhead costs. You know, like I don't believe in charging the artists. But you have to. I have an Oshun tea line. You know that I've created. So I have that as a product. I give events within my spa. So I'm learning how to, you know, sometimes people think that you definitely need multiple streams of income, but they think you need to go and create something else or go get something else, but you can do it within your business. So yes, and you know, things can go real good for a while, but when they don't, people want to fold. And it's easy to fold.
Absolutely.
You know, when you ain't got nothing to fall back on.
And I always reference a girl, her name is Kiara, and she has hair care.
Okay.
And I had her on my show last year, and she rebranded 5 times.
Okay. I'm glad you said that.
Because 5 times. And you know what happened to her this year? Now she's in Walmart with her hair care.
Baby.
So like you said, if she would have folded after the first or second time, she wouldn't have missed out.
Yes. And I'm glad that you said that, because that is the season that I'm in. And I'm so, thank you, beautiful, for giving me this platform so that I can share this with everybody.
Thank you for accepting.
Yes, you're so special.
Thank you.
You are. Your heart is special. Your energy is special.
I love doing this.
Yes.
Like just giving people platforms, because you are going to touch people that I can't, and that's important for us to be able to
come together.
It's all about collaboration and working together and showing that it can be successful.
I love it. I love it. So this is so funny. Just recently, I'm a part of a workspace called P30. And they have tons of resources, right? Shouts out to P30.
Yeah, shout out because I have a meeting with them next week to become a community partner. So I'm so excited.
Nothing but a blessing. Yeah. If you guys haven't heard,
because I met when we had that meeting at P30. That all of that stemmed from that. So me and Tamise finally ended up having a meeting, and then I met with Tracy. And then
okay, so Tracy, that's what I was leading to. Tracy is now my business coach. I have a business consultant that helps me like more on the techie end, and then I have I just recently started working with Tracy, and so she listened to my whole story for about an hour, right? And she went on my website and she said, everything that you said, Be'Le, is great, right? But I still don't know who you are, Queen. And me being the Aries, I'm like, girl, what you talking about? I just talked to you for a whole hour. What do you mean? She said, I don't know who you are and what it is that you do. And I said, well, why wouldn't you know? And I just got done telling you. She said, because your brand doesn't state that. When I go to your website, when I'm looking on your social media platforms, I just see Pamper Me Right. So when I started, everything was Pamper Me Right, Pamper Me Right. And I started as Brittany. I didn't start as Be'Le Oshun.
Okay.
Right? So that was the focus. But now it's 2023 and I have evolved. I'm no longer Brittany just branding Pamper Me Right. I am Be'Le Oshun.
You are now the brand.
I am now the brand. Okay. And so it's Be'Le Oshun, the owner of Pamper Me Right, the event host and the energy healer. So now I'm in that pivoting moment where I'm having to rebrand everything as Be'Le Oshun. So please allow me to reintroduce myself.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Please allow me to reintroduce myself. You gave me, you did
queen.
This.
Yes,
you
queen.
Gave me the platform.
Yes, queen. Absolutely.
So when you address me, if you say, Brittany, if you ain't family,
right.
I ain't gonna answer.
Exactly.
It's Be'Le Oshun, okay? Yes. And you can come book at Pamper Me Right for a beautiful, amazing spa service. It's a healing session. It's way more than just a spa session. You get a foot massage, a 60-minute treatment, and a beverage.
Okay.
Or you can come check me out or hire me as your host.
Yeah.
For your open mic or anything.
And by the way, she is an amazing host and she has an amazing voice. So I went to her event last week. Every first Wednesday of the month she hosts her open mic.
Yeah.
And so I finally was able to go. And when I was there waiting on you and I heard singing, I'm like, where is that voice coming from? I did not realize it was you because we've met here at a networking event and I didn't hear that side. And so I was like, oh my God, her voice is beautiful. And then just the spirit and the energy that you feel that room was just so calming and so just allow people to just be in the moment. And I know that that's what your ultimate the reason why you wanted to do that.
Yep. So that's what and that's what I'm trying to like brand. Like I need to be able, I want people to know what it is before they experience it.
Right.
But right now it's just like you gotta come.
Yeah.
When you come, then you can feel the energy. That's gonna follow me in any business that I'm in any encounter that I have, because that's my calling. It's energy, you know. So I'm learning, girl.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. So never think that you have, even if you have a successful business, there's always growth. You know what I mean? Like the economy is changing. You're going to change. You know what I mean? Your character doesn't have to change, but you should be evolving.
I was telling that someone today, like we should not be the same person.
No, not
and
at
you
all.
Shouldn't be with someone that wants you to be the same person or that says you're not like who I married or who I met in the beginning. I'm not supposed to be.
We're supposed to grow, you know. So I'm never too proud, you know, and I will tell you when I know, and I'm gonna tell you when I don't know.
Me too. I will tell you that it's not my lane.
Yep.
I will find somebody that does that because it's not me.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So where can they find you on social media? Follow you.
PamperMeRight.com.
that part.
PamperMeRight.com.
So your events though, where can they follow about your events?
So right now we are at Wonderful Bar and Grill, which is 6880 Pendleton Pike. It's off of between Shaylin and Pendleton Pike. Every first Wednesday it goes down for Oshun's open mic. We are always recruiting local talent. We have so much talent in the city. They bless me every first Wednesday. I have a teen open mic at P30. We are doing a backpack drive July the 30th for teens. The backpack drives are always kind of geared towards like the younger children.
Right.
But with me having a young adult, I've watched her struggle with her backpacks and lose keys and everything else. So I wanted to create something for the teens so that they can express their talent and showcase that and give them something, you know what I mean? Like to start the year out with, and have survival kits in the backpack. So if you want to donate or volunteer, please hit me up at Pamper Me Right. You can leave a message. And then I just expanded my space at Pamper Me Right, where we added an additional space. So I host events within my space. So
which we're going to be working on an event.
Yes, we are.
I know we said we were going to do it next week, but that's pretty soon.
It's too soon.
So I think we're going to do
it the right way.
Yeah, we're going to do it in August.
Yep, okay.
Absolutely.
Is it going to be like the networking event?
I want it to be, but we talked about I wanted to focus on entrepreneurs health, mental and mindfulness, and being able to have things that they can put into practice as they're moving throughout life. That we forget, techniques, different things like that.
Yes, I love that.
So I'm excited.
Okay, yep, I'm down for that. Well, you already know I'm down for that.
Yes.
But yes, so for private events, please hit me up. I throw wonderful pamper parties, and the pamper parties. The pamper parties.
See, y'all, you never know what you're gonna get.
It's organic. It's real. It's raw. The pamper parties, we still implement the massage service, the foot spa. We cater food, have drinks, and play games and prizes. So I'm still doing the pamper parties. That's why I started, right? And I have classes, at the lounge, meditation with Anata Oasis every first Saturday. Come out and let us show you how to meditate. And it's going to be some new services coming too. I teach grounding, how to ground your energy. A lot of times people don't know where to start. And so I show you how to tap into your own energy. So a lot of times people will try to feed off of other people's energy, and you can't. What you're finding, what you're wanting to find, if you're wanting to find happiness, healing, balance, whatever it is, it first starts within. You know what I mean? It first starts within you. So I'm telling you now, stop all the searching, because what you're looking for is already in here, and so you have to learn how to tap within yourself first before you start trying to find it within things and other people.
Absolutely.
So your girl is busy.
I see. I love
Just
it though.
Google me. Be'Le Oshun.
Just Google me. Right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. This has been amazing.
Let's toast.
Yes.
To this wonderful tea. Where we at?
Farm Free Life.
Hey, shout out to Farm Free Life.
Yes, shout out to them because
what we toasting to? Prosperity. Passion.
Mindfulness.
Yes.
Peace,
harmony, love, joy,
absolutely,
and collaboration.
Yes,
successful collaboration.
Yes. Thank you, love.
You, beautiful.
So I hope you all have enjoyed this episode, which has been you're my first female. So that's amazing.
The first queen.
Yes, the first queen. And I don't know why I tend to have more males on my show.
That's good. Yeah. That's really good because the males need love too.
Absolutely.
A lot of my clientele are males.
When I first started my radio show, at least the first 4 months, it was all males, and I didn't realize it. When I look back, I was like, wow, I got to bring my queens in here. But no, just being able to have this space. And again, shout out to Farm Free because I had to pivot very quickly, and she was on board, allowing me to use this space. And it just shows you that when you surround yourself with people that that you support, will always support you when you need it. It may not need it at that moment, but that support will always come back around. So this has been Melissa Shaw, Our Generation with Melissa Shaw, where we educate, empower, and inspire. And I hope that you found some type of education, empowerment, and inspiration.
Yes, and let me just say this because this song came on before I got here. I don't chase, I attract.
I know that's right.
You understand? Don't chase nothing or nobody.
No.
Because what you are seeking is seeking you.
Yes.
You don't have to chase.
Okay.
All right.
I'm about to have her back. You want to be my co-host?
Yes, girl.
We got to do that. All right, y'all. We out.
Peace.